welcome to the video. Could be quite a long one, probably not, hopefully not. It's like still freezing outside. Had a couple of questions from subscribers, got me thinking, kind of like a add-on video. This is a video whether you watch it or not. If you decide not to watch this video, you'll still have the magic. I.e., you'll be doing the move and it'll be working and you'll not have a clue what you're doing, but it works, 100% works. All the greats have used it, and this is the part that I'm going to say. If you want to remain the magician, then stop the video now. But if you want to have an understanding of how the forces work, Newton's law, gravity, touching on a few of those, as well as the great golfers of the time, Henry Cotton, Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, Mo Norman, who does it a different way, but we'll cover that quickly because it does blend in with Hogan. And Hogan knew this. Hogan went to Mo a few times because he had issues with his swing. Wonder why that was. Because the code is the 45. But what does that actually give you? What does the code do? Well, as we've explained, you can be shoulder width apart. For most things, driver maybe slightly wider. You've got to have a solid base. Why is that? Because you're swinging up and out on the 45. The club's always out in front of you. And your hands are going up here. Okay? That's all you're doing. It's so simple, it's ridiculous. Standard Varden grip, standard ball position. But you're effectively going up here. Now, all the greats have done this, but they hide it so well. Now, how do they hide it so well that you guys and myself took so long to find it? I keep telling you that it's all to do with the blended turn. So if you're doing this move here, up here, but you're turning at the same time, it cancels the look of this, where, you know, it looks like this, right, if I'm not turning. But if I start to do that, but I'm actually turning at the same time, it then puts your hands on plane. Now, with the short irons, see the little graphic coming up there? The plane becomes a circle. Under centrifugal force, it then becomes a rigid moving loaded force. Your golf club is a head on it looks like a solid piece of graphite or metal. It's called a shaft. It's then spinning, gaining force from the top and coming downwards under gravity and centrifugal force, which then makes the club come out at impact. You don't need to know all this, but the fact of the matter is, when you're doing this move here and turning, you are keeping the golf club in front of you at all times. So it never, ever, ever gets behind you and gets stuck. It's always leading. The other thing it's doing is it is pulling you up on the backswing, pulling you up inside your box on the backswing, and on the downswing it's pulling you down, using all that stored ground force energy. Now, Hogan used his knees. You can watch Hogan in slow motion. On the downswing, his knees started off inward and then started going outward like that. This is why this occurs, because having a circular plane is okay for really short clubs, but what you need is, you'll see the drawing, you start to need an elliptical plane. An elliptical plane has the same sides as a circle, but it has a slightly flat bottom and a flattish top. So dropping brings the club head on a outside and then to an inside loop, and then it comes down. And this is obviously part of it, but again, you don't need to know all of this. But this is why it works, because it turns it from being too circular to being elliptical, which then gives you more time to deliver the club in square to the ball, and obviously impart more force through the ball from your action. People call it trapping the ball or sweeping the ball, basically impact. Now, it's very important that you manage to move the swing from circular to elliptical, because if you don't, you're losing 90% of power because your swing's too vertical. Now, that's the magic that you've got concealed within this move. It's like this 45 throw that I'm talking about with the blended turn is the master move for any golf swing. Now, how did Mo do it? Mo set up with straight legs, miles extended away from the ball, did the lift and the turn to the top of his swing, and then, well, actually set back over here, swung up on the 45 but dropped his knees. So that's how Mo did it. I think if you go back through the videos, there's 2 or 3 cracking videos with me in the range, and I'll show you that side on about Mo Norman and how all Mo did was the 45, and then because he started with straight legs, all Mo did coming down the way was start bending his legs. And Mo did have a forward kind of what you would term slide into the ball, which is definitely not textbook, but because he drops his height, that's how Mo got his elliptical arc. And that really gives you, and you will hear it, the sound the ball makes coming off the club face with a true elliptical arc is just a different sound altogether. If you've ever watched any of the tour players at the range and they've been hitting shots, they have got that sound that is just something unbelievably, when you hear it yourself, it's night and day different to any sound you've ever made with a golf club before. It's more of a crack than anything, right? Even though you've maybe just hit a 5-iron or you've maybe just hit a driver, it is such a different sound, and the yardage gain with little effort is incredible. So the master move to this is this vertical throw on the 45. Now, as a lot of you have suggested and bombarded the comments, that's not the line that you show in some of your videos. Why is that? Because you're training yourself to throw up on a 45 line. This is your target. Your mind has to know that your hands have to go here, out in front. That's all it needs to know. Because when you start to turn, you then, depending on the length of the golf club you have, dynamically change that line, but it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because you have initiated it on the throw on the 45, and the fact that you're turning obviously moves that line further away, but still keeps the club in front and out in front of you. So you're now going to always return it back square. Hence, what I'm telling you is, if you watch the classics, go back, watch the classics. Do not watch rotational swings, because they will just knacker you up. The classics that you see Faldo before he changed his swing, even though he didn't go to rotational. But Tom Watson, Seb Ballesteros, Ben Crenshaw, Payne Stewart. Please watch Payne Stewart. The list of these players, you just have to go back and watch any player from 1970. Well, I'm thinking like the best ones to watch are kind of like the hybrid modern player that just before Metal Woods came in. So you're looking at like 1974 to about 1986, right? And the reason for that is that they all knew this code, this magic move, the Mastermove, but they all put their own fingerprint on it. No two swings had the flair, the same look, but the result and the timing and everything that they were doing was the same, but so well hidden. And then obviously, you've all heard this adage, and I've heard it so many times. Why people give up with lessons mainly is because they just can't get it. Well, golf's too difficult, it's too hard. And none of these guys really knew what they were doing. Even Hogan had to go and get help from Mo when he lost his swing and he was trying to find it again. Occasionally, everybody needs something to bring them back when they lose it. And that's where this magic code comes in, the Mastermove. If you start to lose it, the only way you can lose it is this part here's out by, it doesn't need to be out by much, in your turn. So you need to go back, split the two, and then blend them back till you get your timing back. And that is what golf's all about, timing. But there's nothing difficult in it. Anybody can do this. The thing is, you get too caught up with this. My swing has to look like your swing, or your swing has to look like Bryson DeChambeau. You know, you get too caught up in the fact that, hang on, I'm getting results like that, and I'm doing this, and I know what I'm doing now. Well, that's your fingerprint. It's like the way you walk is not the same as the way I walk. Everyone walks their gait, as they call it. Their gait is slightly different. Also, your body type. You might be like me, carrying a few extra Christmas pounds. You might be really thin. You might be shorter. So, all of these things affect what I've just been talking about for the last, don't know how many minutes, but so therefore, you have now got the power to imprint your own magical golf swing with just two little simple things. And all you've got to do is, like the old adage, pat your head, rub your tummy, blend them together at the same time. Sure, it takes a little bit of time. Most people, the 3 golf balls, but the shock factor obviously takes a little bit of time to get used to. So when you're throwing up here and you're blending your turn, like I say, it's very much like a stirring motion almost. But something that you need to throw is the follow through. Throw that away. Don't ever worry about your follow through. Your follow through is a complete reaction to just doing the vertical throw with a blended turn. It's a reaction to the type of shot you want to hit. You'll see when you start experimenting. Once you start throwing up and blending your turn and hitting pretty standard golf shots, if you decide it's into the wind, I need to try and maybe keep this ball a wee bit lower, you're still doing the exact same thing, but you just curtail your follow through after the ball and you'll find the ball will go lower. Right? All these things that, if you watch videos on Lee Trevino, He doesn't cover any of the bit I've just talked about, but he covers how to like shape shots, keep shots low. All of that is actually done by affecting how far your follow through goes. Nothing to do with what you're doing in your backswing. So you can forget about this part here, it just takes care of itself. The backswing, once you get this, it is a no-brainer. See the shot, walk in, hit it. It just takes care of everything. And because you're in the vertical, you're throwing up on this and you're then delivering it down. It's in control, in balance, less stressful on the body. It is the greatest feeling you'll ever get. And the sound when you're hitting the golf ball, your playing partners are just like, where did that come from? So, hope you all have a great Christmas. Hope you're keeping warm. Actually, that's warmed me up because I've got a couple of layers on. Haven't exactly got the heating on yet because it's too early. Everybody's in the same boat with this. You just can't. It's like as soon as you go near a radiator, it's like 100, 200, 300, 400. Oh, geez. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, please be safe. And as usual, all this ad revenue that we're getting is for charity. Macmillan, Help the Heroes and Shelter UK. We need to get monetized, so we need to actually get 1,000 subscribers to get the ad revenue away to the charities. YouTube make that thing. So we're still, but I mean, it's been amazing. 809, I think we're up to. So, you know, it seems still like a mile away, but we're getting closer. So, thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't watched this video, it's because you just didn't want to know. You don't have to know all this. You can just go with the magic. And part of me wanted to set this out as just do this and you don't need to know why, just do it. But there's so many out of you questioning everything. I think that's a frailty of human nature. You know, you question everything. It's not bad to question everything, but sometimes, like, the magic is just magical, you know. At this time of year, Christmas, there's a bit of Christmas magic somewhere. Let's hope so. Thanks for watching.